today's going to be something a wee bit different for these, and I'm going to be working on some street lighting as a subcontractor for an agency down that way. I'll get involved and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. So the job I'm on is to upgrade some street lighting. As you can see, it's overhead aerial columns. It's wired in 6mm live neutral earth into this pole box. I've already isolated it by pulling the red spot fuse, and my task today is going to be angle grinding this light fitting off, angle grinding this top part off, probably about here, and just putting on an LED fitting down there. For obvious reasons I'll not be able to record while I'm using the angle grinder, just to be on the safe side. But I'll show you once I've cut everything off, and I'll take you from there. Right, as you can see for here, I've got the wee support bracket cut off, and then I've got the actual light fitting cut off. And the grinder that I've been using to do it is this DeWalt. I think that blade will be ready for the bin now. So these LED light fittings are quite straightforward to terminate. As you can see there, it's an Indo style fitting. It's a 36 watt LED, it's obviously IP rated, and it's just your earth, neutral, your live out, your live in would obviously be for if there's a photo cell, then you would bring your live in here from your flex, and your brown from your photo cell, and then take your red from your photo cell into your live out. There's just 20mm stuffing gland there. But obviously there's no requirement for that, so we'll just leave that in. It's pretty simple to fasten up as well. It's just some Allen keys. I'll confirm the size for you. But it's just snug them up, don't want them too tight, don't want to chew the threads. Again, this is the style of fitting that I've been supplied with from the main contractor, and it's just 2 grub screws there as well, just to fasten it onto my street lighting column. I'll go back over there now, put my fuse back in, or I'll confirm that my fuse is okay, put my fuse back in, and then I'll go and find the DB and I'll switch it on as a test to show you guys that it's working. Just had a wee look there, it's a 5mm T-bar or Allen key to tighten up both my grub screws and my bolts to lock the fitting up. So I'll just give you guys a wee closer look at the light I've taken down. So it's a 90 watt SOX fitting. There's the old lamp. This has been up there for years, as you can probably tell. The screws all seized, but the reason for me taking this one down today is because it was faulty. So you can see it's 90 watt, and that was installed in 2016. So there's obviously throughout the full of Glasgow there's a massive regeneration project where they're going to be replacing everything to LED fittings, which is obviously going to take a decent bit of time, but my task today is just to sort of target specific areas with this style of top entry, and replace all of them for the new 36 or 48 watt LED lights. Another part of the reason for that is that they're no longer either making or supplying 90 watt control gear, so we're unable to repair them. We're unable to even get any lamps for them. so it's more cost efficient and sensible just to replace the full fitting for LEDs. I should have also highlighted at the start of the video, obviously because I'm working in a van tower at height, I've obviously got on my safety harness at all times, just in the event that the worst does happen. So while I'm here, I might as well give you a wee look at the van I've hired out for today's jobs, and there's going to be quite a bit more down the line for me to do. So it's a Ford Transit, as you can see. I've hired it out from nationwide platforms. It's a 3.5 tonne model. There is obviously a little bit bigger, but this is more than adequate for what I need it for today, and it's the VersaLift system that's fitted onto this one. It's seen better days, this van. It's obviously been through the wars a little bit. Just give you a wee look inside at the controls. So after use, it's always sort of good practice to put this lid down, because these switches are quite prone to sort of getting some water ingress and breaking, or so the nationwide guy told me anyway. For a quick tutorial on how to work these things, pretty straightforward again. So these are your controls here. So right now I'm on no movement. One click and push it up, and it will unstow the bucket from its dock. If I go one more click up now, you see that arm will boom out, and then if I pull it back towards me, it'll go in. So I went one more click again, third click up, and if I go out again now, this arm will take me out, and then if I pull it back in, come back in towards the van. And then finally the last one is going to be tilting me to the right and left. So if I go down, I'm going to go left, and up for right. My only gripe with this van and this system is that the controls are very jerky. You can see there it's quite, throws you about a wee bit, which isn't ideal, especially if you're working above a car or anything like that, but all in all it's not too bad. So to dock the van, you need to make sure everything's built in, and then finally you go into your last one, and you need to make sure that that pin lines up directly with that hole for it to go in. Don't know where we can see that there. And then you'll hear it click in, and that's you. And then again, it's good practice, I always put it back to 0, close my lid, and job's a good one. For the inside, you've got your beacons on this side, so if you turn that on, you can see that wee light's illuminated. That would put my beacons on, but I've not needed them here at this part of this road. And these two here are for my jack legs, so you can do them both at the same time or one at a time. So you twist it up to bring your left one in, you'll hear a click there, that means it's up. Same for this one. And now that there's no lights on there, that tells me that both my jacks are up. And now this is my PTO, that needs to be down before I can drive away, because it effectively brings on the handbrake. And there you go, and that's that. Now I'm good to drive off. Hopefully showing you that today's been of some interest. I know there's obviously a little bit of interest from Thomas Nagy, or Thomas Nagy, however you say it. Obviously I'm not anticipating any of his subs viewing any of my content, but it would be nice if they did. If you'd like to see any more from the street lighting aspect, let me know, because I do get plenty of work for this. If you'd like to see any more of this content for the street lighting, let me know, because I do get offered quite a bit of it, as I do have a bit of a background in it, for a decent bit of my apprenticeship, I solely done street lighting, and yeah, I regularly get offered it from a contractor that I work quite closely with. I'll just go a drive now and I'll find the DB for this lighting circuit. I'll switch it on, I'll drive back and I'll show you that it's working, and then I'll take you on to my next job. For anyone who hasn't worked on overhead street lighting before, a good way to trace where your DB is obviously to follow the aerials, but whenever you find one with more than one lighting box at the top, that's a step for a hint that that's where your control panel is going to be at the base of it. And there you go. So again, for the street lighting, usually all the control panels will be numbered. So this one here obviously is D5014, and there's a few different methods of entry to the boxes. Some have specific triangular pole keys or hex keys with a pin in the middle. This one, you can easily just get in with a screwdriver. And again, what I've found, particularly in Glasgow anyway, nothing is labelled up inside the panels. So I'm just going to turn that onto hand, close that over, and I'll go and, now that that's shut over, we'll go and take a drive and ensure that that light's working. And we'll need to obviously come back and switch this back onto auto so that the lights aren't on sort of 24 hours. You can see it's working. You're probably getting a bit of flickering, but that's obviously just because it's an LED. What I'll do now is I'll go and switch that panel off. And then I will continue on with the rest of this project here. There's no point in me showing you it again and again. If I come across anything else interesting throughout the course of my day or anything I think you should see, I'll jump back in and I'll show you. So this type of fitting I've got here is a 55 watt socks type fitting. So again, it gives off an orange light. Get rid of that. Now that's the visor removed, we can see it's a Phillips 55 watt socks. Like I said, it gives off an orange light, just like the ones over there. I've disconnected the fuse from down below out of the SMK cutout, so I'll just have a wee look inside now and see what I find. That's me got the new 55 watt gear tray installed. It's quite simple, it's just plug and play. These wee pins just bend on and it's all push connectors. The short plug here has been bypassed anyway, so I'm just going to keep it that way. There's no requirement for it to be incorporated back in again. And yeah, it's very simple now. It's just going to be a case of screwing this back up and putting on the visor, putting in the fuse, and then testing if it's working. That's how this LED retrofit gear fits in now that it's been secured, just with one screw there, and then obviously the two pins this side. Now it's just going to be a case of putting on the visor. It's always difficult to do one-handed. That's that on, and I'm just going to leave my short plug or my dummy link in just to prevent any water ingress into the light fin. I'll jump back down now to the bottom, put the fuse back in and ensure that it's working all okay. Right, there's my fuse, 6 amp LST type fuse. Plug that back in. Then just a case of re-securing these screws so that nobody can get their fingers in. This style door, just snap-on style door for the column.
And moment of truth. Aye, that's, I don't know how well you can see that again, it's not really picking up too great, but that's definitely lit.